Welcome to another Vintage League here. Today we're playing classic vintage card Oath of Druids, but with some of the new Yuna cards from the Final Fantasy set that caught my eye and I think work pretty well in this deck. The first one here is Yuna's Whistle, and this one lets you reveal cards in your library until you get one of your creatures, which is one of these three. Ideally with this one you want the Emrakul with the big converted mana cost. The creature goes into your hand, and you put a number of +1/+1 counters on target creature equal to its mana value. So if you've got an Astrologian's Planisphere creature in play, you use Yuna's Whistle, you put Emrakul into your hand, then you put 15 +1/+1 counters on your token here. And you have this huge, creature that can, hopefully just win the game then. It's a pretty cool interaction. Even if you hit Atraxa, that's still 7 +1/+1 counters. That is not bad. I decided to do a split here. Atraxa is obviously the best Oath target. Atraxa is ridiculous. But Emrakul is not like an awful Oath target. And then, the 15 +1/+1 counters is pretty cool. So I want to give this a try. But you can mess with these creatures here. I mean, they don't have to be Emrakuls. We're going to give that a shot here, because that's kind of like the ultimate scenario here with I think the highest converted mana cost creature in Magic is 16, so we're right at the top here, and Emrakul is better than Draco, so that's pretty cool. And now we've got the creature into our hand. Let's say that we can't win with the ability or something, or the creature gets removed. We've also got Yuna's Decision, which can put our creature from our hand into play. So this is like a one-sided show and tell. So but you do have to sacrifice a creature. So you sacrifice a creature, you can draw a card, and then you can put a creature or land from your hand onto the battlefield. So yeah, you can just put your Emrakul or your Atraxa that you just grabbed into play, or one that you just had in your hand since the beginning of the game. Nice one-sided show and tell. The bottom is relevant too. Let's say you played an Oath of Druids and it got forced. You really want to play your Oath of Druids again. You can use the bottom ability here. You don't have to sack any creatures for this one. And it just says return 1 or 2 target permanent cards from your graveyard to your hand. So you can target maybe a fetch land and your Oath of Druids that just got countered. Put them back into your hand and then play your Oath of Druids next turn, which is very cool. So really both parts of this card are really synergistic in our Oath of Druids deck here. But we do have to play creatures. We have to play creatures for Yuna's Whistle, and we have to play creatures for Yuna's Decision. And Oath of Druid usually does not want to play creatures, so how are we going to get creatures into play? And we're going to do that with Astrologian's Planisphere, Blue Mage's Cane, and Oko. And all of these cards give us creatures. So these are new from the Final Fantasy set, and they've got Job Select, where you get a 1/1 token, and this one just kind of grows when you play non-creature spells. Gets +1/+1 counters. This one, when it attacks, not when it deals damage, whenever it attacks, you can cast an instant or sorcery card from your defending player's graveyard. There are a couple good instant sorceries that opponents are usually going to be playing, like, I don't know, Ancestral Recall in this format in Vintage. So yeah, this one's actually pretty decent too, and they're blue. They pitch the Force so well, and they're equipment. So if you play like 2 of these and 1 dies, you can just kind of equip one with both of them, which is nice. And then Oko, of course, the classic, elk your own Mox that gives you a creature kind of thing. I had originally when I built this, I only played I didn't try it out, but I put in a now I'm blanking on it. There's a 3 mana artifact in Sphere Shops, and just gets +1/+1 counter living weapon from Sphere Shops. You play it Nettle Cyst. But I had Nettle Cyst in here originally with all the artifacts and stuff. It's just like another creature, another way of getting a creature that actually being a creature. So like the benefits of these cards is that they create creatures, but they're not creatures themselves. They don't stop Yuna's Whistle. They don't stop Oath of Druids. But I had Nettle Cyst in here originally, but I couldn't fit enough blue cards in. So I switched it to the Blue Mage's Cane. But I think there's maybe like a ability here, maybe with different colors, where Nettle Cyst could work. There's also a green living weapon that could work well with in this kind of style of deck. The green one, just when it attacks or it deals damage, I can't remember. You just put a creature in your hand into play, so you're just kind of like a, you know, Llanowar Elf style version of these. So like I might do a mono green version at some point. Something to think about with like Nettle Cyst and stuff. I don't know. We will see. Anyway, there are other ways of creating creatures in Vintage. There's also a 1-mana blue enchantment that does it. That's been played in, I think, Standard or Pioneer for a while. Might have even got banned in the last round there. It makes like a 1/1. Anyway, you have to try and figure out ways of getting yourself creatures. I went with these in Oko. That leaves us a bit of an issue. If we're going to try and attack and win with creatures some amount of the time here, then Forbidden Orchard is not a very good card in our deck. So we have to be able to give our opponent creatures. Now we're in a time where that's usually not a problem. Most decks, I think almost every deck in Vintage right now plays creatures, even if it's like Thundertrap Trainer for the PO deck. You know, Lurrus Control, Mono White Initiative, Bug, Bizarre decks, they all play creatures also. But like the big combo deck right now is Lurrus PO, and that plays quite a few creatures actually, like Thundertrap Trainer and Lurrus. So I think our Oath of Druids are going to be just fine triggering on their own most of the time. But just in case, we've got Oko and we've got Swan Song. And Swan Song gives our opponent a token. So we've got 2 in the main deck, and we can bring them 2 in the sideboard against decks like Doomsday, just to try and give them tokens. We'll probably board out some Oath of Druids, but not all of them or something. I don't have a good sideboard plan for Doomsday, to be honest. Hopefully we just dodge it. But we can kind of try and play this sort of a game against them. And of course we got Oath of Druids into creatures. We've got Tinker into Bolas' Citadel. And then we've got, you know, Vampiric Tutor, Demonic Tutor, Mystical to find our Tinker. Classic cards like Force of Will, Time Walk, Ancestral. We have our one channel in here. The channel can be used to hardcast an Emrakul, either just when we had it in our hand or when we found with Yuna's Whistle. You could also play Bahamut. I think like the Emrakuls could be Bahamuts maybe. There's a lot of ways of building this deck. This is just kind of my first stab at it. Top to find stuff, grab it off of Saga, great with Citadel. Swan Song we covered. Mana base is pretty standard. The big thing is we don't have Forbidden Orchard in this deck, because I kind of want to be able to put pressure on and try and swing and win with our creatures. Like Saga, Planisphere, Oko tokens. But again, you could try and build this differently with Forbidden Orchard. Yeah, and the mana base is pretty standard. I've got one of the Yavamayas to get extra green because a couple of our cards want the double green. I think that's pretty high upside, low cost here. Nothing fancy, no strip mine or anything. I want our mana doing things. So Saga also makes a creature for us, which is nice. I think Yuna's Whistle would have been even better before the Saga got restricted. But at least we still get one Saga. That's the main deck. You're still here. Like and subscribe and comment. That all helps grow the channel and stuff. I'm almost at 100 subscribers. That'd be a nice little goal to hit. I think that'd be fun. Anyway, on the sideboard here, Graveyard Hate, generic removal for when we need to remove stuff, and then a bunch of anti-combo cards. Oath is classically not amazing against faster combo decks, especially when we're not running Forbidden Orchard, to try and power out a quick Atraxa or something. And even if we do power out our Oathing into Emrakul still gives your opponent a whole turn to like win the game, whereas Atraxa will try and find a bunch of permission. So we've got a whole grip here of counter magic to board in. Yeah, any ideas and stuff, you know, and this is super experimental. You got any ideas for, you know, other ways to abuse, especially Yuna's Whistle? I think it's a really cool card, but it's kind of hard to build around this one. I think this is like a good shout for the first try here, but you got other ideas, let me know. And yeah, I'll see you in round 1. Okay, here we go. We're on the plate. Yes. Yeah. I have no idea if this is a keep. Doesn't feel like it, right? Sure. Don't think we want the Atraxa. Okay, so like Doomsday bug kind of things. Spell Pierce. Okay. I guess that is bug. Wasteland. Okay. I assume that we want to counter. They're going to counter this, but I think we got to give it a whirl. I assume this hits a Force of Will. Well, I got another Foster Stone. That's a lot of counter magic. Alright. We're on bug. They don't have another land, so that's all action. Not ideal for us. I think we want to find an Oath here. Possible that we're just walking into a Force of Vigor here, but they did not have it. I assume they would have used it if they did. Black, blue, froggy. Good. Jump the frog. We should have a Vexing Bauble in here. I just realized we didn't put a Vexing Bauble on the deck. That was a punt. Okay. Let's see how they feel about... Okay. Force of Negation. That's fine. Mm-hmm. Could use a Tinker. Tinker would be a good one. I got a lot of counter magic. I'm guessing this gets countered. They also got removal. They could just let it go, I suppose. Okay. I think we're all in on this guy, so we're just gonna go for it, I suppose. Yep, that'll do it. That should be game. And we're done. Alright.
See if Magic Online unfreezes and lets us sideboard here.
Coming downstairs now.
Doesn't look like it's gonna let us unfreeze here. Well, it's like grayed out like this, we can't sideboard. Just have to wait and hope that it unfreezes. Looks like we did not get the sideboard there, which is annoying. Could have used some of the sideboard cards. Turn to Oko with Force backup, good enough. I guess so. I got a Lotus. Blue, green, white. Oh, go. That we can force. I think I'm just making an elk. they want to flash in an orc off the Lotus, they can. They got an Oko. Okay. Deathrite Shaman. Let's vamp. We will get our Bolas' Citadel. Shit. They're just gonna elk the Citadel now. Oh. Hey. That was good. We got lucky there. Alright. Interesting. Yeah, we got that, yeah. Alright, let's see if it lets us sideboard this time. We wait and see. We are still frozen and still cannot sideboard. Need this to ungray. Alright, here we go again. I think there's too many bad cards. Oh boy. I think it's risky, but I think this is good enough. We just have to hope to hit another land. Right, Moxen. A Moxen would be very nice. Maybe we should have mulliganed again. Ah! We should have mulliganed. Fuck. It has to be a land. Land. What runner lands here? Should have a scry land in here, then we could try and scry for a land. Shit. Well, green land does open up interesting possibilities now. Could potentially channel Emrakul. Sure. Land. Land. Or green land. Green land. Green land. Green land. Almost a land. Oh, this is so sad. We can't, they're going to hit us to 14, so we won't be able to channel Emrakul anymore, so we're just going to bin this one. Bayou. Lamp. You get a Trop. Yeah, we don't have the life to deal with this. We just have to try this and hope it works. No, I got uncounterable removal. That's a problem. So it looks like we're just going to die to collectors. Sad way to go. I don't think this does anything because like if we get Oath, they untap, swing for 4. We play Oath, they untap, swing for 4, and we die. I think it's just Underground Sea, right? I don't have any other. Yeah, I mean, I got nothing really. Crap. Yeah, that'll seal it. We have... We're just dead now. That's sad. Potentially, if I would... I mean, I don't know what's in their hand, but potentially if I would have just... I don't know. Turned off by the oof. Alright, they got it. Alright, here we go again. Yes. Sure. Yeah, you can keep that. We got our Saga and our Soul Ring. Ancient Tomb. Mana Crypt. Glaring Flesh Raker. Alright, that card's a problem. Yep. Let's see what they do here. This lets them, this casts the colorless for Raker, but also blue. So, oh, those have artifacts. Okay. Forgot about that. Tinker. I think we just want the mana. Top. Soul Ring. We will get our Citadel. Now, they have ring protection. I think we cast that. We have not enough life to cast our Emrakul, sadly. So I think we want Atraxa. Or Time Walk. Maybe this was dumb. If we don't get a Force of Will, it's going to feel real dumb. Yeah, now it feels dumb. Ruby. Catacombs. Oath. Swan Song. Yuna's Whistle. We'll take the Swan Song, I guess. Yeah, this feels dumb now. Yeah, thing is, it Atraxa 7 mana and gets you 10 looks for a Force of Will, so. That at least gets us a shuffle. So, see what they got here. Stock up. Yeah, I'm okay with stock up. No, I should have countered that. I can actually counter the stock up. It's like the one thing I can counter. Oh, I'm bad at this game. Oh, jeez. That was embarrassing. Do as I say, not as I do. Should have just snapped off a Swan Song there. We can kill it with Glaring Flesh Raker now. Um. We're going to try and make Atraxa huge. They get a bunch of life. Oh, I should have elked it first. I would have just elked it first and we would have won. That was dumb. Alright. I am playing badly. Noted. Cast. Alright, that gets us a Mystical Tutor. That gets us a Time Walk. Time Walk. Alright, so we got there. We're up against like a blue Raker shopsy thing. Definitely don't want the Swan Songs. The Canes are bad too. If we're taking out some of the creatures, that means the Yuna's decisions get worse. I think Fawn might be okay on the draw. That looks about right. Yeah. Yeah, we can work with that. Interesting. Oh, it's Jewel. No, it's not Jewel. We already saw the Rakery stuff. They have Force of Will, huh? Alright. Pretty combo heavy version of Raker. Stock up. Okay. I think we just pass. It looks like it's basically jewel shops, but with the Raker in there. Sure. We already used our Lotus. Fortunately. Don't think there's any other card that really gets out of us. We have no blue mana. Getting misstep there was rough. I didn't expect them to have a bunch of counter magic, and they did, which was a problem. Thought we were just gonna be able to play stuff. Looks pretty similar to one of the early blue Raker decks I put together. If you go back on the channel, a couple months at this point. We have no way of giving our opponents creatures, huh? Okay. Okay, that was enough of that. So I think I misjudged what they're playing over there. give this a whirl. All right. Wait, I mulligan this? No, as I keep. Okay, no, definitely keeping this one. Ooh. Hmm. We want to draw a blue card. We really want to draw a blue card. Blue card. No. Crap. I think we still jam it. Ah. Okay. I wish I had the top now. Alright, they had double force. I was just dead anyway. Didn't even matter. Oh well. We did. That's a little annoying. Stock up. It must have Force of Will then, right? What else would make sense? I think we do want to hit the tomb still. Good draws would be like Black Lotus. Alright. Probably just have... I just need to find mana, so we're on a clock here for sure. Alright, we got there. A little bit of a lucky one, but I'll take it. Okay. Here we go again. We're on the play. Yeah, I think that's okay. So we can either play Saga to get the ball rolling there, or we can just play the Misty Rainforest and hold up the Swan Song, which I think is what we want to do. I think just in case they've got like a Void Mirror or something, we're just going to play out the Crypt. That also lets us use our Swan Song without it getting hit by something. We're going to counter that to give them a token. Looks like they're on Doomsday. Oh, no, wrong one. Oath of Druids. Oh, no, oh, no, it's on one counter. It's all one counter. It's okay. Jeez. It's on one counter. That's fine. So we're dead, but we'll, play it out. Alright, we hit our Atraxa. We can get Oko. We can get Artifact. It can be our Artifact. Instant, obviously. Land. sorcery. Done. Time Walk would be a good draw. Did not get Time Walk. Oh, I didn't think of this. We actually have a win. No, but we need green, green. Oh no, this is Yuna's. It's not the other one. Thought this was the other one. No, we don't have a win. Blue, colorless, green. No, I tapped tapped the artifact again. So dumb. Alright, I'm just playing badly. We could have swung for 3. Which means if they Doomsday, then they can't Force of Will. So that was a pretty big screw up. I should have elked one of these and then swung. Yep. Yeah, so I punted there, but oh well. Ancestral Recall. Might as well fight that. The chances of them finding either protection or what they need after this is too much. What just happened? Yeah, it's annoying. Out. Misclicks happen. Off to game 2. That's annoying though. Never like a misclick. Swan Song. Mystical Dispute's fine. Trapper fine. Cut Yuna's decision. We'll cut Yuna's whistle too. This game is now mostly just about The game is now mostly about counter magic. I think this is okay. Just because it's blue and a clock. Oh boy. And I'm really tempted to keep it. Draw a land's a good hand. This feels too risky though, right? So I want to keep it. I don't know. Sure. Alright. Maybe I just should have kept the Mox and just tried to go for a Tinker early. That's fine. What happened? Oh, they exiled Oracle. I see. Yeah, it's annoying. Alright. Take it, I guess. Off the next round. Okay, here we go. Guess so. Keep. Gotta force the will back. It's not an amazing hand, but it's got a plan. Voidmare. Alright, so we're on against mono white initiative here. See what they got. Okay. Void Mirror got us pretty good. Yep, they got it. Oh, that's tough. Yeah, that's good. Probably gonna end it there. At this point, not even drawing Oath does anything. Oh yeah, we're super dead. I don't like a lot of these cards. Maybe just oh, I guess. We will play. Yep. I think we do just want the recall. Don't want to see that really. That's good. We can trigger the Oath with the Oko. Blue, green, green. And then that gives them a creature. So we got there. Don't think we really want to change anything else here. Let's run it back. kind of feels like a trap. Like if they go turn 1 Void Mirror, we can't even play our Emerald. And we can't play our Tinker. Okay. You have to draw a green source still. This is not, you know, I don't know if this is even better, honestly. Green. Alright, actually that one's more important, so I'm just going to play out the C. We want them to play a plum. Yep. Now we want to draw ideally either Lotus or Crypt here. Yeah, they named Oath. So we just pass here. Oh boy. That means they probably have a way of removing Oath or not. Dungeoneer. Witch Enchanter. Okay. You really want a Tinker here. Cast. Oath. Underground Sea. So we can draw removal now, or we can draw Oko. We got outs at least. Nope, that's less outs now. That is less outs. That is much less outs. Oh boy. That is a lot less outs. I think we're just dead. Yep. Alright, here we go. Let's see. I think we mulligan this. I want to live the dream. I shouldn't, but I kind of want to. Let's try and live the dream. We will not be living the dream. Alright, that is not bad. We are super duper dead. Super duper duper dead. I want to give it a try. Because we can. Maybe I should have just played the Oath first. I think I should have played the Oath first, maybe. No! I should have played the Oath first. Did not play around Spell Pierce. Okay. Okay. They got it. They got it. Alright, let's try this again. It's a tough matchup, though. I'll bring in Containment Priest. We were supposed to win game 1. That was our opportunity. Alright. Oof, that's bad. Not gonna be able to do it again because of life. It's funny. Yeah, we don't have enough life to do this. Alright, another game.
All right, 2-3 here. You know, really not a bad showing. In these 2 rounds here, the first and last one, we were very competitive. Often just like a turn off winning some of those games. Yeah, very close. Yeah, I think it was actually pretty good for a first try. There's a ton of ways of building this deck, but like I don't think this was a bad shot at all. We got bullied a little bit by Lurrus Control. The Esper variety with Containment Priest. I do think we probably need some... I mean, that's just a hard matchup for Oath. But we probably do, need to respect that matchup a little bit more somehow if we can. But otherwise, yeah, no. It was a pretty strong showing. Yeah. And I think it's definitely a deck you can play around with a lot. I mean, the core card here that I really like is Yuna's Whistle. The other Yuna's powerful too, don't get me wrong, one-sided show and tell that can bring your Oath of Druids back into your hand and, Lotus or whatever into your hand too, potentially. That kind of stuff is powerful. But I think this card, just has a lot of potential, so... I think another way of doing this is if you got like a combo that requires one specific creature. I'm not sure what that would be exactly, but like if you just have one creature in your deck, this one will obviously always get that creature. So I think another way of building this is some sort of combo where you got one creature in your deck that you always want to find. You just kind of grab that one. You can play that still with like Astrologians, Planisphere and stuff, and for that whatever that creature is. Especially if it's kind of a chunky creature. The other idea I thought I had was like Murktide Regent. If you just have like, say 3 or 4 Murktide Regents in your deck, and that's the only creature, and everything else is like, stuff like Astrologian's Planisphere, and then you always get the Murktide, and you get 7+1/+1 counters. And there's a few ways of going about building this. I'll probably be playing more with Yuna's Whistle. I like this card. If you got ideas, throw them down below. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Trying to get to 100 subscribers here. I'm very close. That'd be quite fun. Yeah, and I'll see you next time.